a white man in this room that would change places with me. None of you. None of you would change places with me, and I'm rich.
I honestly did not want to do this video initially because I don't want this channel to be so race specific. I don't want it to be so race sensitive. I think that the way that we apply the tools that we're using with this channel to the rest of our life, it doesn't matter what your gender is and it doesn't matter what your race is. This is more leaning towards men content for me personally, but females, you can apply it to your life too. But I try not to talk in a way where race is involved. But I find it important now that I am, my skin complexion. I think it's important for us for me to have this conversation with you, my black brother. If you're a black man, you should watch this right now, especially if you're on the younger side and you're still trying to find yourself and figure things out. But let's say that you're maybe a little bit older. It doesn't really matter. But sometimes I feel like we as black men need a reminder. I don't want this to feel gloomy, all right? So please understand that there will be a resolution at the end, even though we're gonna go a little bit more, not necessarily dark because of my skin, but just let's be realistic about how we move in this country in today's times. So one, they are still preying on your downfall. No one else except for you and me knows what that means. That you, black man, you are still supposed to be down here. It does not matter how many people in this country are inclusive. And I live in New York, bro. I live in New York. I don't know any other community more uniquely inclusive than New York. There's all personalities here. All personalities, all races, all genders. Some genders I've never even heard of. Some people I've met that I don't even know their gender, how they identify as. That's not the point. The people that matter, they're preying on your downfall, bro. Those people, those higher ups, those older men that have been in control of this world since when? The birth of this country. Those people, the forefathers, the people that are higher up, the people that me and you do not know and we will never see or never know about, the invisible, higher up. I'm not even trying to say Illuminati, but you get what I'm saying. Those people are still preying on your downfall. You will never be in those rooms for a reason, because you do not belong here. And you and me, deep down inside, we know that, and we navigate this world with that understanding. We navigate this world with that understanding that I have to change into something different in order to be successful in this particular society. What does that look like? I'll give you an example. You get arrested. Hi, officer, how are you doing? You see how you change your voice? You try to make your voice change. You try to be a little bit more caucus, more structured with your words. You're doing that for a reason. If I talk and communicate with him in his language, then this interaction that we're having, I can end up on the other side of it without getting a ticket, or worse, getting arrested, right? So we shift our mannerisms to something that's not even us. Even the way that we dress ourselves. There's a difference in dress that we have. We have black people and then we have niggas. We have a separation already, that black people are supposed to be a part of the society and niggas supposed to be in jail, right? What does a black person dress as? Khakis, maybe, collared shirt, Ralph Lauren, maybe something a little bit more organized, uniform maybe. Uniform, which means uniform as in a company, so to speak, part of a job or a community company that makes a lot of money, versus shit. What I'm wearing is not the wave. I can't go out into the world like this and then expect myself to go past a police officer and them not at least, even for a millisecond, think to myself, who is he? and what are his intentions, and why does he remind me of someone else that I arrested? It's just a do-rag and it's just a tank top. It's hot in here and my hair is not done, right? That's the only reason why I'm wearing this, but it has a look. It has a look that reminds people of maybe the ghetto, or maybe the hood, or maybe hip hop, or maybe someone that is lacking a certain level of structure to their lives because of the way that they are carrying themselves. That's part of the reason why I have the glasses. I'm gonna tell you a secret. My eyesight is actually pretty good, but I have these glasses just in case a cop come crossing my way. I have them in the glove compartment. I just get them out real quick. Boop. How you doing, sir? Just in case there's a mistake that I made on the road that I wasn't privy to, and he's just letting me know, like, hey, you made a turn over there, you didn't signal over there, or whatever the case may be, without it turning into anything different. It's fucking crazy, right? Why I gotta wear glasses? I don't need to wear glasses. But we all have our own little tricks that we do, black people specifically. We have our own tricks that we do in order to navigate this world that others are not privy to. You remember back in the day when it was like 2004, 2003 or so, you had that little police siren thing, that little radar that your mom or your aunt had in the car to let you know when police were around or not. Not because you were doing anything bad, but because it would alert you to tighten up right now. I remember when I was a kid, this one time I'm coming from the gym late at night. It was Planet Fitness. It was like 2 a.m. The only reason why I was going to Planet Fitness is because it's like a 24-hour gym, nigga. All right, leave me alone. Shit. And what I usually do is I usually put my protein powder in Ziploc bags versus the cupper with the shaker ball in the bottom, only because I was just too lazy that I didn't want to go back home and have to wash it and whatnot. So I put it in Ziploc bags instead, right? So I finished my workout, boom, I'm on my way home, I'm on the highway, driving regular speed. Cop pulls me over out of nowhere. Asked me for my license and registration, asked me why he pulled me over. Told him no. He says that I was speeding. I wasn't, but it's cool, whatever. My license and registration and insurance is legit, right? So his partner comes to the side. He sees my Ziploc bag of protein powder. Automatically, they assume it's drugs. Automatically, now it's a whole other situation, basically. I have to prove and convince them that my protein powder is just protein powder, and I'm coming from the gym. And if I catch an attitude or something, worst case scenario, I'm in the back of their car on the way to the precinct, just off a protein powder, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to take that into consideration. Me and you already know. Maybe they don't, but me and you know. And that leads me to tip number 2, right? You have to make sure that you're great. You have no choice. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. There was a joke that Chris Rock said back in the day. A black man needs to fly to where a white man can walk to, right? That's so true. You have to do more. There's no other way. You need to adopt the fact that you need to do more. If they're doing 6, you need to do 7. If they're staying up at 12, you need to stay up till 1. I'm sorry, nigga. I'm sorry. You have to do more. I'm speaking to you, but I know I'm speaking to myself because I am you and you are me. But you have to do more. The reason why I'm here doing this video is because I'm attempting to do more. And I want more of us to do more. So maybe we need to hear it like that. You need to do more. The odds are against you. The odds are against you. It's against every man. Don't worry. It's not necessarily a race thing, but specifically for you, the odds are against you. If I did not have my paperwork right at that time when I got pulled over from them cops for that bullshit ass protein shake situation, I would have got arrested, right? if I didn't have my license on me, maybe, or if my registration was up or something like that, even though I did nothing wrong, even though I wasn't drunk or high or nothing like that, if my paperwork was not done, I got profiled because I was the only, I was like, there was like a couple of cops, there was a couple of cars on the road, but I wasn't speeding or nothing. There was just cops that were just chilling on an island somewhere in the middle of the highway that just saw a car and then assumed that, that they were up to no good, right? It happens multiple times. There's been plenty of times where something similar like that has happened, where I've jogged down the block with my homies and then a cop pulls me over because they think me and my homies came and robbed a house or something like that, when all we just doing is jogging and chilling and shit. It was a warm night, so let's jog. Can't even jog. Black man, you got to do more. There's no other way. I know that hurts. I know it hurts because it's not necessarily a jealousy thing, but it's like, why do I have to go through more pain and suffering in order to get the same things that they are just given at birth, right? That's how it can feel. Sorry, bro. You need to do more. So whenever I go to the gym, I'm usually either the first one there or the last one there. I'm usually leaving I'm usually leaving after people, and I'm usually getting there before people. Because you have to, because the odds are not in your favor. You need to do more. You need to be more. That's the only reason. That's the only way, That's the only way that you are going to be able to get ahead in your life. You need to take this skin complexion that you have seriously. That does not mean that you can't go out and interact with other people that are of other races, of other cultures. That doesn't mean that you can't date interracially or be around people that you love and care about that just happen to not share the same skin complexion as you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that those people, those loved ones that you have around you, cool. The higher ups though, they're looking at you and they're waiting for your mistake, because something about your skin complexion it's not welcome. You're not a part of my culture. It's like, I always look at it like the higher ups are people that have a home and they invited guests into their home, but that one guest that doesn't share the same like genetic code as them, they feel like, why are they in my house? Even if all of the other family members are welcoming of that person, the person that actually has the deed to the house, they're the ones that are looking at that person like, why are they in my house? And ever so slightly picking at them a little bit. And no one can feel it except for us. We know what that feeling is. It's a passive aggressive. A lot of people, maybe it's different for black people. I can't say. But I know growing up, I was never confrontational like that. I had to develop to become more confrontational and force myself to speak up when something is wrong, if something is bothering me, to just say it versus try to passively, aggressively try to, weed it into the conversation so that only you can hear it. And I said it, but you can't tell if I'm attacking you or not, right? We have that feeling all the time, where when we go out into the world, we can tell when people are being nice because they're nice people, genuinely, but we can also tell when people are being nice because you're different, because there's something abnormal, which is nothing wrong. That different does not mean wrong, right? Abnormal does not mean wrong. We are abnormal. We're extraordinary, right? So you need to take that into consideration when you go out into the world, that people are going to treat you differently, even if you feel like they're not. It is what it is. It's like someone that you see for the first time, you meet them the first time, and they're missing a leg or they're blind or something like that. You're gonna have a conversation with them. You're gonna talk to them, and you're not even gonna mention it more than likely, but in the back of your mind, you've received it, and you're doing what you can to adjust so that you do not hurt their feelings, but they feel it. Just like we do. So you have to understand, you can't avoid this. They're preying on your downfall, not your people, not the community, not the people around you that care about you, that don't share the same skin complexion as you. I mean the higher ups. So get to work. I had a video that I posted. I know you guys don't know this, but I post on shorts from other highly intellectual thinkers, so that you guys can get game from people that have more experience than myself, so to speak. And I'm using that as well and applying it to my own life. And in the comment section over there, I had a conversation with someone that was talking about the fact that I'm black, and they were talking about the fact that I may go to prison or get my GED in jail or something like that. It became a jail thing. It became a prison thing. It became a police thing. It became a gang banging thing. It became a drug dealing thing. That's how people look at us. There's not to say that there aren't people out there that share our skin complexion, that aren't gangbangers, that aren't prisoners, that aren't killers. There aren't people that do harm, but that's not an exclusively black thing. They don't get that though. They don't get that. Me and you, all we're trying to do is just care for our loved ones. We've hurt, we've been through trauma, we've been through pain, and we're doing what we can to just live our lives in this day and age, in this society. But you'll never be able to shake the stigma surrounded by our people and our culture. It just is what it is. It's part of why we're so sexy, right? Because there's like a hypersexual energy with our culture when it comes to the music that we listen to. Which leads me to the next thing. The music. We don't even own that shit, nigga. We don't even own that shit, bro. We made that shit back in the day for ourselves, and then we got connected in partnership with other people that are well versed in business than we are. We're about being cool, and we're about connection, and we're about community. We're about swag. But they're about business. They're about money. They're about investing. They're about assets, liabilities. They're about opportunities, financial opportunities. So when they see that, they go, this seems like if we attach ourselves to this, then we can actually be owners of a multi-billion-dollar, possibly trillion-dollar industry, the music business, right? We don't even own that shit, bro. Sure, we're listening to the same artist, but who's their higher up? Who do they have to answer to? Who at the top of this music thing that we're sharing together as a community, who actually is making the big bucks? Who's actually in the most control? Influence is so important. The reason why I mention who is at the top is because they're the ones that control all of the different parts below it, right? So if all the different parts below it are talking about guns and violence and gang banging and fucking girls and fuck niggas, get money, it comes a point where whoever is totally in control, they have an opportunity to shift the narrative, and it's not going to happen. So you need to understand that the music that we're listening to, it's influencing us to be dumb. It's influencing us to not do more for ourselves. It's influencing us to want the wrong things. So if we're other people and black people, if we're on a trajectory towards a specific goal, whether that goal is generational wealth, freedom, vacations, a successful life where you don't need to worry about bills, whatever the case may be, if we're on the same trajectory, what the others in the higher up positions are doing is influencing us to go in a different direction. Let me not stay in on the weekend and work on that project. Let me go to the club instead, right? Let me not work on that skill that I'm trying to develop for myself so that I can get into that industry that I'm trying to go to. Let me actually worry about going and getting drugs, right? Let me get high a little bit. So you need to take that into consideration, that we can enjoy and love the fuck out of this music that we're listening to, but we can't let it influence us in the wrong way. We cannot regress, right? You can't do that. So these are the ways that we're being pigeonholed in today's time as a black man. If you are black and you are trying to maybe, I don't know, forget the fact that you're black, or maybe you think that we are so progressive in the way that we interact with each other in today's time versus back in the past. Because look, we don't need to bring up the fact that slavery was an X amount of time ago. And I know that the possibility of your mind or someone else's mind that you care about saying, get over it, right? But you're seeing the remnants of those times that our ancestors had to suffer through in today's time, just in a different way. It's not in the same way. Don't worry about getting your ass beat with a belt or whipped in front of a tree or anything like that, or hosed down with a water hose or guard dogs or anything like that. Don't worry about that. That's not gonna happen to you. What's gonna happen to you is more something like a Cold War, I would say. It's very subtle. It's not getting shot in the face with a musket. It's going to the doctor and getting your blood drawn, but the needle being rusty and you getting an infection that you didn't know about, and then getting sick and then dying. The results are still the same. You're gone, just not from a musket, right? If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I hope that metaphor makes sense. Anyway, the point that I'm getting at, if you're black, in conclusion, you need to realize that it is a part of who you are. It is a part of your identity. It is a part of your brand. It is a part of the things that you are going to do, how you're going to navigate this life. You're going to have to take your blackness into consideration. The higher ups, the people that do not want you to get the success that you want, they are looking at your downfall. They are preying on it. They're, please don't let another one of them, please don't let another one get. Or, okay, let a little bit of them get a little bit of money so it doesn't come across like we're being all the way, racist, right? So we'll get a little bit, like we'll show that there is progression so that they can let their guard down and think that the Cold War is over, right? Lo and behold, as you let your guard down, you get lazy, you procrastinate, and you don't go for the job, and you start smoking weed, or you drinking, or the trauma that you're dealing with in life. You're not taking your life as seriously as they are, and they're betting on the fact that you're not going to do that. So take your life seriously. Hold on, let me take these fake ass glasses off. Take your life seriously, black man, because they're preying on your downfall, and you can't fail. Done.
But let's keep it fucking real, okay? A black C student can't run no fucking company. A black C student can't even be the manager of Burger King. Meanwhile, a white C student just happens to be the president of the United States of America.